$717 billion. This is how much the U.S. will be spending on its military for the coming year. The bill was approved by U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday and is named National Defense Authorization Act. Not all the money, however, is said to be spent on actual defense, as $250 million is allocated to be spent thousands of miles away in Ukraine. The budget also has a share for U.S. military presence in Eastern Europe. The Pentagon says it will also help Washington's allies reduce their dependency on Moscow.
This means that the U.S. is keeping Ukraine within its sphere of interest, and in case of any tensions, Kiev can account for the U.S. diplomatic and economic power.
Some $50 million of the so-called security assistance to Ukraine may go toward purchase of additional U.S. lethal weapons. Last year, Washington supplied $47 million worth of Javelin anti-tank missile systems for Ukraine. For the first time, the U.S. stepped up its support for Ukraine following the outbreak of a conflict in the country's east, where pro-Russian forces are fighting the government. Washington and Kiev accuse the Kremlin of fomenting the conflict through arming the militants, while Moscow denies this. Experts say Washington's growing military spending in Eastern Europe, particularly Ukraine, would only lead to the escalation of the crisis.
Any inflow of weapons on both sides leads to at least conservation of the conflict, maintaining the balance of the forces. The longer conflict is financed, the longer it remains politically unresolved.
The fighting in eastern Ukraine goes on despite two ceasefire agreements. It's been a serious bone of contention between the West and Russia. The U.S. president has called for the allocation of $250 million to Ukraine as military assistance. Washington says it plans to increase its military exercises in the Black Sea. Russia has repeatedly warned against such activities near its borders. Moscow says it regards the military buildup as provocative. Lian Savchuk, Press TV, Kiev.